Welcome to History with Master Squishies. In today's video, we'll be covering the history of the Nato. We'll be going over who made it, the design, what nations used it, some of the battles that took place in, how it performs in-game. Before I get into it, this video is going to be extremely short due to the fact that this vehicle doesn't have a whole lot of history behind it, and there's not a whole lot of information on it. So with all that being said, let's get into it. To start off with, the Nato, officially known as the Experimental 7.5cm Self-Propelled Anti-Tank Gun Nato, was a Japanese tank destroyer developed by the Imperial Japanese Army in 1945 with a total production number of 2, but I can't find any companies linked to its creation. The Nato was created based off the Type 4 Chiso armored track carrier in response to the Allies' advancements in their tanks and armored vehicles. It was rushed and completed in design, with the Japanese Army issuing 200 units for production. Unfortunately, due to the severe lack of materials, the lack of a stable supply line, and the bombings of Japan, only 2 would be completed, and the testing would finally be completed by the end of the war. That's about all the information I can find on it. There's not a whole lot of documentation I can go off of, but if you have anything else, let me know. The Nato was equipped with a fixed frontal superstructure mounted with a Type 5 75mm gun and a Type 97 7.7mm machine gun. It had a maximum of 12mm of armor and a minimum of 8mm of armor. It had a crew of 7, a weight of 15 tons, a length of 5.80 meters or 19 feet, a width of 2.40 meters or 7.87 feet, a height of 2.75 meters or 9 feet, and a max speed of 24.8 miles per hour. Next, we'll move on to its operational history. Due to the fact that it was an experimental vehicle and completed testing by the end of the war, it was never deployed into combat, and thus there's no combat record. Even with the testing records, there's very few documentations to actually go off of. Finally, we'll move on to how it performs in War Thunder versus how it performed historically. In War Thunder, the Nato is perfectly done. The armor is right, with the maximum being 12mm, and the minimum is right, with it being 8mm. The gun is right, with it being a Type 5 75mm gun, and the speed is right at 24.8 miles per hour. All in all, the Nato is perfectly done, and there's nothing that needs to be changed. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, squish the like button, subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear about next. I'll see you in the next one.